Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please settle down? Good evening and welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, fighters. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this great debate in the Buffalo City municipality. You will notice that the time is just after 6:30, and as newspaper people who always stick to deadlines. So we are starting, ladies and gentlemen. We will not waste any more time. My name is Busisonga Alwa, and I am the editor of the Daily Dispatch and the Saturday Dispatch. Ladies and gentlemen, we are left with just 8 days to go before the elections. And I'm sure some of you are raring to go, but there may be those among us, or even at home, those who are listening through radio, who may be undecided come election day. So the purpose of this debate is to allow the various political parties who are present here to actually give us snippets from their manifestos and also assist those who may still be undecided to decide where they will put their eggs come election day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll set out the format. We'll follow a simple format tonight. But I'll set out the format. What will happen is that I will allow the political parties 5 minutes each to present or to summarize basically their manifesto. And then we will debate. We'll enter into a debate, and I will be facilitating that debate. And if you are a lovely crowd, like you seem to be tonight, I will allow for questions. And if you are an even better crowd, I will allow for a second round of questions from the crowd. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll set some ground rules, and I hope that we will stick to those because we may be political opponents, but I think it's important that we respect each other. We are here to hear what the political parties have to present, and therefore we will not allow any heckling or shouting down of any speakers, as it defeats the whole purpose of us being here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I must also mention that this debate is being broadcast live on Kumkani FM and also Keith Ngesi Radio. It is also being streamed live on dispatchlive.co.za. What we will do, just lastly on the rules of engagement, when we open the floor, we will allow for
is made in delivering basic services to the people, such as human settlements, basic sanitation and water. 98% of Buffalo City Metro citizens have access to running water. We have built new townships, quality houses. We will improve access to municipal services and reduce outsourcing of services. We will improve on public participation and accountability of councillors. We will enhance the capacity to deliver on our mandate. We will develop and strengthen local economies, create jobs, and promote placements, especially for the young people. We will intensify the fight against fraud and corruption in local government. We will promote education as an apex priority in local communities. We will improve health in urban and rural communities. We will deal with climate change challenge by ensuring that municipalities adapt to the changing climate conditions. We will build spatially integrated communities that facilitate racial integration. We will promote nation building and social cohesive community, and therefore a vote for the ANC is a vote for quality services, development of local economies, and integration of communities in urban and rural areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Pagati. I think I'll urge the other speakers. I think maybe if you can follow in his lead and also keep it brief, I'll hand over to Ms. Chantel King, who represents the Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm so glad for the daily dispatch to inviting the Democratic Alliance, who will be governed here soon. Where we govern well. The Western Cape is leading everywhere we go. We create 4,000 jobs in the first quarter alone. What the ANC cannot do. The one thing we pride ourselves as the DA, and I will quote from the words of your Nelson Mandela ANC. We said, we are not yet free. We have merely achieved the freedom to be free. You are not free because economically the ANC has forgotten about you. The DA is here to ensure that we will stop corruption, because we've got fit for purpose councillors. We will also ensure that our people are not cadre deploys, because skills audit will be done. How we will also stop corruption is to look at the supply chain management, which the ANC fails to do, because that is where tender rigging is going on. We will then, if you stop corruption, people, at the end of the day, what will it mean? It will mean we will bring more investment into BCM. Infrastructure will be looked at. Our infrastructure plan is failing in Buffalo City, and they don't have a plan to move it forward. We will then, when we have created better infrastructure, ICT systems, better services for freedom which people deserve, we will then deliver and make sure that people have the opportunity to be employed, especially our youth. Because in BCM, we do not see any development going on. You talk about development, Mr. Deputy Mayor, but yet it will take 25 more years for people to be economically free. Vote DA to stop corruption, create better services, and at the end of the day, make sure people are employed and enjoy the freedoms which our forefathers fought for.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. King. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that we are a bit excited because it's fever pitch and the elections are just around the corner. But please, let's allow for the speakers to make their points. Thank you very much. I'll hand over to Mr. Thando Mpulu, who's the provincial chair of the UDM, to talk to us.
Thank you very much, Program Director. The UDM, the first thing that we will do as an organization is to separate political power from the administration. We will make sure that whoever is a politician remains a politician. Whoever is an administrator remains an administrator. Shall be three types of plastic. The reason why we do that, it is because we believe that every household must be able to derive income through their waste. And as UTM, we are very clear that waste management can be the economy and the new economy for households. The third thing that UDM will be doing, we will make sure that when it comes to the municipality, we will create jobs that are sustainable. When we create jobs that are sustainable, for example, if you talk about what we call in UDM, it's Bisho East London corridor. We will build an integrated transport system. If you go to any other metro in the country, you will find that there is a reliable transport system. To date, if you go to in our townships, we only rely on public transport that are taxis that are not properly regulated. But if you go to other places, you might not even need to have your own car because the transport system is viable. And as UTM, we are saying we are going to introduce that aspect as a very important aspect. But at the center of what UTM is saying, UTM is saying we will do away with what other people call cadre deployment. We will do away with that because we have seen a very bad situation where people get employed by the municipality, and by day they are employees, and by night they are employers because they have a right to speak to those people. But on top of that, UTM does not hold monopoly in terms of the requisite skills. We shall employ young people who are graduates. We shall employ young people who have skills to be able to deliver. We shall not employ anyone simply because you happen to be a member of a particular organization. We will employ you because you have a right skill to do the job. And lastly, for those who are already in the system, we are going to retrain them, we are going to develop them, we are going to align their skills with what is required to be done by the municipality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And next is Mr. Luke Kuse from the SCDP.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, there is a trust and credibility deficit here. This municipality has been mired in scandals. It has stumbled from one corruption scandal to another. ACDP is bringing good governance that is based on values like integrity, honest, and we pride ourselves of leaders who have integrity. The World Bank refers to corruption as the stealing of the future. That's what is happening here in Buffalo City. And we, as the ACDP, we are going to make sure that we root out corruption, we remove corrupt officials, we make sure that corrupt politicians get arrested. Yeah. And we will make sure that we invest in electricity infrastructure, especially in informal settlements. The National Development Plan says that 90% of the jobs that are going to be created by small business, of which we as the ACDP are going to make sure that we support small business. We are going to build safe communities. We are going to make sure that our residents are protected and also invest in sanitation, because sanitation is about dignity. It's not only about hygiene, it's also about dignity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Puse. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I will hand over to Kumani Matiwane, who represents the EFF.
Ndibulele mhlali ngaphambili, ndibulise wonke umuntu okhoyo apha ngaphakathi eholweni namhlanje. Thina singulombutho we-Economic Freedom Fighters, i-EFF. Kumnandi kuluvuyo ukuba sibe lapha namhlanje kuba kwiminyaka emithathu egqithileyo, ngo-2013 nge-26 kaJulayi sadibana silulutsha sathi what needs to be done in South Africa. And then today we are celebrating our 3-year anniversary as a party. Now, what necessitated the formation of the Economic Freedom Fighters? The Economic Freedom Fighters' primary role. Firstly, our manifesto is based on what the people want, because the problem of South Africa post-1994 has been that the people have been forgotten by the elites. And now we went back to our people to hear what is it that they want. So this is not an EFF manifesto. This is a people's manifesto. And the things that we picked up when we went to households, Gobasi, Nompumelelo, Scenery Park, abantu bethu bakhala ngomhlaba. City, our primary role as the EFF is to transfer the economy and the land to the ownership and control of the people. Because you cannot speak of services when you do not have land. Xa uzothunyelwa i-services, iplot kufuneka kube neplot ukuze ufakele umbane. Ukuze ufakele itoilet kufuneka kube neplot. Ukuze uthunyelwe lamanzi kufuneka kube neplot. So to speak of services, you must first give back the people land. This is an admission in the integrated development plan of Buffalo City that the municipality does not own any land. So what you are saying is that as the EFF, one of the first things that we need to do when we enter council is to do a land audit because siyawazi amaselo omhlaba maninzi apha. Besike sabona i-development isima kuba umasipala engakwazi engenamhlaba. So we are saying as the EFF, our primary focus is land and to transfer the economy to the people. Then our manifesto is based on 8 core values, and those values are that we want to build local state capacity with the aim of abolishing tenders. Ubuyitenda premiere phansi komasipala we-EFF asibana ndiyotya. Funeka uhambe uyokhangela enye indawo, because we have found that the problem is the tendering system ezisa i-corruption apha eBuffalo City. Siyayibona i-Auditor General's report apho 400 million rands has been misappropriated by corrupt officials. We are saying that we want to create sustainable jobs for residents of iBuffalo City. I-EPWU ke ayingomsebenzi. Umntu umnike umsebenzi for 3 months. After 3 months abantu bakuthi abanande yokwenza uphelile lo msebenzi. Umntu ubhatalwa i-500 rands. A meager 500 rands umuntu esebenze inyanga yonke. We are saying away with that as the economic freedom fighters. We're saying access to land, because without land, there can be nothing without land. Umhlaba nguye ozosisa isidima somuntu omnyama. We are saying there must be access to land, and then we want to provision of quality basic services such as the water and sanitation. Idangen village. Etangen village, raw sewage is running the streets. Those people have been neglected by this current government. And we're saying enough with that. Number 5, we are saying that we want to provide a conducive and accessible environment for education in our communities. We want a creche in every ward for early childhood development, because that is the basis of any, if you want to build a nation. If you neglect the education, then you will not build any nation. And we also want to stimulate local economic activity and participation by residents by reviving industrial parks around Buffalo City. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our panelists. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the second phase, or the second part of our debate, where we'll discuss some of the key points that were raised by our speakers. Can I request, before we do that, can I request the sound guys? I understand that we have 3 roving mics. If that is the case, can we please have those mics? We will return them when it's time for the crowd to ask some questions, so that we don't move around a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Don. No, pass them on. Pass them on. Thank you. I will start with the ANC, because the ANC is currently the governing party in BCM. And this question, ladies and gentlemen, and this question relates to job creation, because in all the inputs I've had, job creation seems to be the common theme that runs through. And you mentioned it in your opening input, Mr. Pagati. But then the question becomes, if you've had all these years to do what you say you will do, why didn't you do them, and how will you do it differently this time around?
Let me start by clarifying one thing. The fact that we're saying we're going to do certain things now, it does not mean the beginning of work. We are in charge in this city. We have been in charge since 1995. Now, in terms of job creation arises out of investment in the productive sectors of the economy first. Now, you need to have investors investing in the productive sectors of the economy so that the economy can grow. Now, you need multiplicity of strategies in order to ensure that you get there. One, the growth of the economy is not able to absorb the unemployed because the growth is very slow. The second problem is the skills mismatch. The skills that are acquired in the institutions of higher learning do not match the requirements of industries in many instances. There's absence of investment in the productive sectors of the economy. That leads to trade deficit, which affects the balance of payment as a result of more imports than exports. That is another problem. The other problem is over-reliance of the South African economy on minerals and energy finance complex. As a result, when commodity prices decline, we are affected because we are an export-led economy. Here in the Eastern Cape, and particularly in Buffalo City, our economy relies heavily on the automotive sector and component supplier industries. In that context, we have to diversify our economy so that we are able to grow. We have to diversify our productive capacity so that we can then be able, but also we have to retain the existing manufacturing base by providing supply-side measures in addition to those provided by the Department of Trade and Industry as a city in consultation with business community. So you need everybody to address the question of unemployment. It is not a municipal problem. It's a problem that affects the economy of South Africa and by extension, the economy of the Eastern Cape and therefore Buffalo City. We have to improve on infrastructure. We have to upgrade our facilities. We have to change the face of the city. But also, we have a metro growth and development strategy here in this city, which was adopted not only by municipality, but by all stakeholders who are active in the economic sector. Now, in that strategy, which is derived from the NDP, Provincial Growth Plan, and our own, it talks about renewable and investing in the renewable energy space, on oceans economy, revitalization of the small and medium enterprises, the township economy, the improvement of logistics, the agro-economy, the primary production and processing. So, but then, as you build small and medium enterprises, you need innovation and entrepreneurship spirit. So we need to ensure that we empower young people so that through a number of sectors, that includes state procurement, we have to have set-asides for young people because not everybody is going to get employed. And therefore, innovation is necessary, particularly in the small and medium economic sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pagati. Now, the DA in its manifesto, it refers to EPWP as being one of the job drivers. The EFF is saying EPWP are not jobs. How exactly, can you first respond to that one question? Do you believe that EPWP represents sustainable jobs? And two, how do you create those jobs in an economy that finds itself where hours are, where it's now been projected that it will actually grow at 0% or not grow at all? Can you just respond to those questions? Thank you.
The EPWP program is sustainable. It can work well. However, in the ANC-run municipalities, it does not perform properly. Reason why the DA say it can run well, because if you empower people by giving them skills, we can transfer those skills and then absorb those people into the BCM municipality. However, currently at BCM, the skills development transfers don't actually happen. People are just placed in a position and most of them don't actually know what is going on. So it can be sustainable, it can alleviate unemployment and poverty if it is implemented well. If the contracts that is given to the contract holders of the EPWP program can be more transparent and not be given to friends of somebody that is connected in the ANC, then this program can be well. Also, what the ANC is not doing and what the TA in the Western Cape is doing with our CWPs and EPWP, we have a database where all these people are placed on the database. So at the end of the day, all the skills that they acquire, you can then absorb them into a solid waste department. You can absorb them into your electrical department. There is no such skills development program for EPWP in the Eastern Cape. They don't even have a reliable database system where they can tap on these skills. Also, it will then, we can enrope in some private investors to assist with the EPWP skills program. Private investors here is failing us. They are not actually getting involved because with the corrupt officials that we have, the corrupt politicians of the ANC, everyone is scared to invest in a meaningful program. So the TA's plan would then be skill these people, especially those in your CWPs and EPWP program. Enhance them by sending them on specialized programs so that at the end of the day, they can contribute to their families, they can contribute to society at large, and at the end of the day, alleviate unemployment.
Thank you very much. Now, in your input, Mr. Kose, you referred to the ANC's NDP when you were referencing the jobs that are to be created. What exactly is the ACDP's plan to create jobs?
Thank you, Chairperson. Firstly, NDP is not ANC policy. It's a government policy. This distinction should be made there. We believe in ACDP that small business will always be a catalyst to economic growth. And one of the impediments facing the economic growth, especially here in Buffalo City, is the issue of turnaround time when approving plans and zoning arrangements. It's one of those problems, but we as the ACDP, we believe that small business will always create jobs than big business.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Mbulu, the UDM also focuses a lot on small businesses. But once again, the question for you is the same question. How exactly do you develop these small businesses?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think firstly, you can't create a normal society in an abnormal situation. The first thing that you need to do is to ensure that our governance is in a proper state, so that when you call investors will be attracted not only in terms of value proposition, but the conditions around you are conducive for that. That's the first point. But the second point that we need to do when we're talking about small business is to create what we call in the business sector, it's local content. Local content you create by ensuring that you create what is called linkages between the big business and the small business. In other words, if you have Daimler Chrysler in Buffalo City, if you have a company that is involved in steel in Buffalo City, you then have to have a service level agreement with those companies to say, what is your role in terms of job creation? How many small business that you can develop? In other words, you are talking about what is called enterprise development. Enterprise development is different from tender, because enterprise development says, I am going to give this part of my business to a small business, but that small business has a responsibility to create more jobs. So the issue of creating jobs then does not become an issue of government, but it becomes the issue of other small businesses. But the third issue is what we call capital flight. You need to arrest capital flight. How much money that leaves Buffalo City? How much money that leaves Buffalo City that goes to other places? We need to ensure that money that are in Buffalo City, they circulate within Buffalo City. By so doing, program director, by so doing, you are stimulating the economy. And by stimulating the economy, you are creating demand. When you create demand, there will be more supply, then there will be more businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, the EFF of all these parties that are represented here is the only party that is untested in local government elections. And when you look at their manifesto, a lot of people tend to think that most of the things that you promise are pie in the sky. But you are here tonight, you will outline them. Now, I'm going to focus on one. You refer to creating municipal-owned companies, even in municipal-owned printing company. Now, somebody sitting there as a small businessman is thinking, but why should you have a municipality that actually takes away these opportunities which small businesses ought to be using to create more employment?
Dibulele Putwam. Ungathi wena xa uzoyijonga le EFF manifesto ngengqondo yobucapital ungathi pie in the sky. This is a socialist manifesto. EFF, we want to create municipal-owned companies and build state capacity with the aim of abolishing e-tenders. Because e-tenders, when you look at it, they do not really add value to the economy. Because those people who benefit from tenders are your people, your politically connected people that do not plow back to the community. And the people that are employed by these tenderpreneurs, to use that term, those people are employed on a short-term basis. They do not have any benefits at all. That is, there is no medical aid, there is no job security, there is no pension fund. Now, when you are saying you are going to do away with tenders, and all those people that work that was done through tenderpreneurs will be the responsibility of the municipality. This is not something that has not been done before. Abantu kudala kwakukho abantu babesebenza ezindleleni. Umuntu xa umbone ukuba lo muntu ngumuntu oqeshwe ukulungisa indlela. Lona umuntu ngumuntu oqeshwe for ukucheba inantsika ingca. And the aim of the EFF is not to improve the lives of individuals. It is to improve ubomi babantu bonke ngokulinganayo. Kungabikho bantu abazosokola omnye umuntu wena abe etsheba ngokubila kobunzi kwabanye abantu.
All right.
And then when we speak of industrial development, industrial development, and this industrial development, we are not saying when you're saying we are going to revive industrial parks or Timbaza no Fort Jackson, then uzene factory that are foreign owned. Aizone factories, those are warehouses to store finished goods. Then they are not adding any value to the economy of Buffalo City. We are saying you must have e-processing plants and manufacturing. Then you export finished products, not to import it into the new storage, and then you are saying that is industrial development. That is not industrial development.
Now, before I move on to the next point, I'll ask, here's a follow-up question on that one. Now, if you have a municipality that concerns itself with coming up or establishing printing companies, meat processing companies, and councillors who are starting creches in different communities, where does the municipality get the time to do service delivery?
Putwam, imanifesto ye-EFF ayithi ookansela bazoqala ikrishi. Ithi iwadi newadi mayibe nekrishi. Ukuba uya phaa ku-chapter 7 of the constitution, lena ke ngoku yalapha eSouth Africa. Section 151 phaya kwi-constitution uthi every municipality has the right to govern on its own initiative the local government affairs of its community. And e-constitution as a South Africa, when it was developed, it has never been fully utilized by the ANC government. It saw local government as this distinct sphere of government that plays a developmental role in creating a developmental state, not just in the conveyor belt of services. Hence, EFF manifesto yayo ithetha nge-abolishment of inansika provinces. That is, in the future, when the EFF takes over government, they would like to do away with inansika provinces, so that will limit the bureaucracy that is created where services tata ixesha elide ukuba zifike ebantwini.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Mr. Pagati, the ANC in its manifesto talks about doing away with outsourcing of services. But how do you balance that against the creation of jobs and also boosting small, say, consulting firms or even auditing firms that work with the municipality? How do you balance that? You are saying on the one end, you want to create jobs, you want to boost small businesses, but then you say that you will do away with outsourcing of some of the services.
No, what we're saying as the ANC, we don't talk about doing away of outsourcing, but we are saying outsourcing should be minimized. The capacity of the state should be strengthened so that the state can be able to deliver services directly. That's what we are saying. The question of promotion of the small and medium enterprises is part of the National Development Plan, is part of our Provincial Development Plan, is part of the Metro Growth and Development Plan. Because in that plan, we are identifying multi-pronged strategies that would address the question of unemployment and the question of growth of the economy and the question of provision of basic services. But primarily, the role of local government is to provide services to the communities. And as such, that should be the task of the local state, not private entities. But in that context, we are not calling for the abolition of outsourcing. We're saying that should be minimized so that you provide those services direct from the institution. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Still on the issue of service delivery. Ms. King, the DA talks about an integrated transport system. And it even goes as far as referring to a common card, transport card, which you can use in a taxi or in a bus. Now, as someone who's used public transport for a while, how exactly do you achieve that? And if it is achievable, why have you not done it in Cape Town?
It is achievable. It is called our smart card system. What we envisage to do with that, you know, you get your meter systems where you can pay to use your cards. Those cards you can swipe in your taxis, which basically means it will assist us with an integrated system where we can then have all these taxi associations then registered and listed, because at the end of the day, you will have to swipe your card in order to get a certain points and credits taken off. It will also assist the government in order to gain some tax from these taxi associations. It will also assist in getting most of these taxi drivers better chances of getting proper employment, because now they can earn a living wage salary. Our smart card system will then benefit everyone, because at the end of the day, you don't need to carry physical cash on you. You have a card which you can basically use, which will then help us to decriminalize most of the things that is happening. The reason why we have not introduced it yet in the Western Cape is because nationally the ANC is still running this country. And for us to fully envisage this thing, we need to take over this country so that the DA at the end of the day can then envisage its dreams. The ANC national government is hindering most of development taking place.
Now, Okay, can you, I'll just hand over to Mr. Mbulu. I think he wants to make a point about infrastructure and transport.
Yeah, no, I think it's important that we must be scientific on how we look at these issues. When you look at the transport and you look at taxi industry has a potential to create other industries. For example, where do they service their taxis? Where do they buy their tires? Do you know that the taxi industry can be turned into a logistic business? But there is no framework in which we as people of government that we can be able to assist these industries. These industries are so informal, and taxi industry, it's a billion sector. Yet when we treat them as distant cousin in the economy.
So what do you do as the UDM?
The UDM says the industry must be developed as a feeder system to the bigger public system. For example, what the DA was talking about, that you must create a rail industry where taxi industry connects to that rail. You must create a bus industry where that bus industry connects to taxi industry. You must not treat them as separate and create silos. Therefore, you must create an integrated system so that there can be an interaction between those industries. That's what we need to do going forward.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Mr. Kuse, coming to the ACTP, it seems with the respective elections, its support, particularly Buffalo City, is declining. I think at the last election, 2014, you're sitting at 1%. Now the question becomes, do you think that as a party, also considering the fact that 80% of our population is Christian, do you think the party is still relevant to the voters out there?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the ACDP is still relevant because, as I said when I opened, the challenge that we have in this country is the decline in morality. That's why we have corruption. And our policies, Chairperson, are policies that are based on the needs of our community. Like, for instance, the manifesto is the things that people experience on the ground. So the issue is ACDP is still relevant and ACDP is growing, Chairperson.
If I'm not Christian, why should I vote for the ACDP?
ACDP is a party that espouses the Constitution, is the party that allows the freedom of religion. Everybody, even if you are Muslim, you are an atheist, you are allowed to vote for ACDP because our policies are policies that are good for the country, and we have shown it. We have shown it in the municipalities that we have co-governed with, the impact that you have. For instance, the best municipality in the country, Swellendam, the deputy mayor there is ACDP.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kosa. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, still on relevance and service delivery. Buffalo City, in terms of global electricity rollout, is done very well. The same with sanitation. But the EFF argues that Buffalo City uses electricity provision to punish the poor, in that you buy electricity, but if you're owing on your rates, you're defaulting, 40% of that goes towards your rates. Now, if you are poor, it then means it actually puts you in a more disadvantaged position. Now, how do we deal with that? Do we continue with that? The EFF says we are using this as punishment for poor people. Mr. Pagat.
No, there is no truth to that statement. First, we provide free basic services to the indigent communities of Buffalo City. We provide free basic services, water and electricity to the indigent people of this city. So that statement is no truth. You can go and check our indigent list. You will see that we are providing free basic services to the poor people. And therefore, there's no truth in that. When you are not able to pay for other reasons other than being indigent, then you have an obligation to service your debt. If you don't service your debt, the municipality will not be able to sustain itself. Because we sustain this municipality through rates and taxes. Thank you.
All right. Now, just a follow-up, Mr. Pagati. All the panelists here accuse the ANC, and you've heard this before, of being corrupt. There's that perception of a corrupt ANC. And this municipality has also not painted itself in glory in the past. How do we deal with the issue of corruption?
Well, I must categorically state that corruption is not an invention of the ANC. Corruption is a societal problem that arises out of greed. It is not a political phenomenon. However, as and when cases of corruption are identified, law enforcement agencies must be brought in there and deal with such matters. Simple. Whistleblowers can call our call center. Whistleblowers can call our call center and expose corrupt practices. But there are institutions that the ANC has put in place. Chapter 9 institutions, Public Protector, South African Police, Office of the Auditor General. All those institutions are the institutions that were set up by the ANC government. There was no such institutions before 1994. And as such, whoever in this audience has evidence that effect must go to the law enforcement agencies.
Thank you very much. Now, the EFF says the ANC punishes the poor. Mr. Pagati contends that you cannot run a municipality without collecting rates. How do you balance the two? But before you answer that question, the EFF goes further in its manifesto and talks about doing away with bylaws that punish traders. Are you suggesting that we should run municipalities without bylaws, or how do we do it?
Ndibulele bhuti wami ndisothuswe yile nto isanduthethwa ngutata uXola phakathi ukuba i-ANC zange ize ne-corruption. Loo nto ithetha uba uyayivuma uba i-corruption ininzi phaa kwa-ANC. Xa sithi umasipala funeke abe to the service of the people. Asikwazi ukuthi sithi sikwidemocracy okanye sithi sikhululekile singabantu abamnyama. Siphinde thina abantu bamnyama sicinezele oomama bethu. Kuba thina singabantu abamnyama sikhuliswa ngoomama abakuthiwa ngono-balance. And then if you are going to take away istock sabo, then uthatha ukutya emlonyeni wefamily, i-households abantu abamnyama at average nabantu abapha ko-8. Asithi urhulumente umasipala we-EFF akazibanda zi-bylaws. Kodwa ii-bylaws maziyeke kucinezela abantu bakuthi. Asikwazi ukuba sithi sikhululekile sibe nee-bylaws ezophinde zicinezela abantu abamnyama, kodwa sithi South Africa yethu. i-bylaws must be a reflection of the society that we live in. And again, in South Africa, it's a 90% black majority. We cannot be apologetic about that. We cannot, uba umasipala athi uzokonwabisa u-10%, ucinezele u-90%. We are saying, usibuyisele emva ke kukho lento ekuthiwa i-demarcation board, apho ithe yasibuyisela emva, ngokuthi ithathe i-wards, isibuyisele kwi-structure se-apartheid, ilokishi izithathe izibeke zodwa, ama-suburb iwathathe iwabeke odwa. Sithi ki-EFF, there must be mixed use communities. Apho i-suburb lizolinkwa nenantsika ne-township, iGunubi ilinkwe neMzamomhle, iCambridge i-suburb ilinkwe ne-township, then i-township yase-Cambridge, so that there will be cross-subsidization. Because now what is happening is that uthathwa imali iyotyebisa abantu sebetyebile. Apha eGunubi kwenziwe eGunubi main road kwenziwe i-bicycle lane. La bicycle lane iqala eRobertson iyehla ibheka lane ezantsi, uyahamba uyapha esantini. Xa uhamba esantini izinyoka, iintambo ezi-exposed ezingalimaza abantwana. Abantu kwiminyaka engama-22 abantu basasebenzisa i-public toilets. Uyayazi uba the indignity of having to wake up, you have to contemplate xa uzokuya etoilet. Uthi utshiswa ngumchamo, uyayiqonda i-toilet, it's 50 meters away or 100 meters away. By the time you get there, ungarojwa norojwa. Kodwa urhulumente uyakwazi uba ayokwenza i-bicycle lane, kukho abantu abengenazi-toilets. Urhulumente uyakwazi uba ayokwenza indlela ezinkulu koGunubi, abantu bengenazinto, abantu bengenawo nombane. So we are saying you must take from the rich and give to the poor. You cannot take from the poor and give to the rich. Apha enye into endifuna uyithetha ithi uthi utata uphakathi i-ANC inantsika umasipala uncedisana nabantu aba-indigent, free provision of free basic services. Sinabantu abafikayo rhoqo kwii-ofisi zethu, abantu abasokolayo. Ifemeli akho nomnye umuntu ophangelayo, umntu ucingelwe umbane ngumasipala kuthi ukoloti 40,000. Iyandithusa ke namhlanje uba ndive kuthiwa nomasipala waseBuffalo City unika abantu ii-services for free. Inoba ke ezo services ziya kumakheyida ANC.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I will open the floor just now, but just a few more questions. Ms. King, the issue of roads and potholes seems to be a very big issue here in East London, as I see through the letters that come through the newspaper every day. Can you take us through what exactly the DA plans to do when it comes to improving the road infrastructure and those type services?
Thank you for that question. Potholes is really a big concern. It is the most dangerous concern in BCM because most of the motorists, people lose their lives because of roads which are not maintained regularly. What the DA plans to do first of all is to ensure that we use proper material when you maintain roads. In East London, you can see, like yesterday when it was raining so heavily and today, the tar that they use is not conducive for our roads. These roads are worn out, and so a plan needs to be put in place. The DA's plan is to then look at most of these roads, set out a plan to restore it with the National Roads Agency getting on board to assist us in doing this. There is enough money available in BCM to assist and make sure that roads are maintained on a regular basis. Also, what you need to do is look at your infrastructure department. The heads of directorates needs to come on board. They need to give a concrete plan of what they are going to do, how it is going to do. Targets needs to be set because in BCM it could take 20 years to fix a simple road. Targets needs to be set in order to maintain these roads or to upgrade it completely and resurface it. So that at the end of the day, people can then drive safely and we don't have so many lives that are lost here in PCM. You can see that roads are being maintained, but the way they are maintaining it and at the slow pace that it is going, that the elections would be over and it would still not be done. And if you have to look in the long run into the tender process of them fixing the roads, you would realize that they would come back to us in council and come with another deviation to say that we need to pay so much because the tender left us in the lurch. So that is the first thing. Look at your internal processes so that at the end of the day, your set plan and your targets is then achieved at reasonable times. And the councillors should also be kept accountable because they are the ears for everyone and they listen to what the community say and they should then report this on a regular basis.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a few follow-up questions, but I think I should be fair to all of you here. What we will do, we'll open for a round of questions. We will take 4 questions at a time, and I urge you, please, even if you feel compelled to make a statement, please hold it for later. Just ask your question so that we can allow for everyone to give an opportunity. I will rotate some of the mics. I will ask for, yeah, thanks, my guy. Right. What I will do, I will note, let me start here right in front. I'll ask questions from this side and then move over to the other side. You can start from.
Thank you very much,
Segas.
Salangapambi. I've got only one question. My question is going straight to the ANC, of which the incoming mayor of this Buffalo City. I don't have a doubt about that. Chairman, my question is that I want to tell the House about the issue of the write-offs. One issue of the write-offs. Who qualified to be writing off this debt? The debt write-off. Who qualified to be written off the debt? Thank you.
Now, who's your question directed at?
To the ANC.
All right, okay. Okay, we'll take the second question. There's a hand over there from the DA. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Priscilla Murray, and I'd like to direct my question to Mr. Tola Pakati. Mr. Tola Pakati, is there a need to be for people to have to be on 204, section 204, which is being protected against his own comrades because of these people that does corruption here at Buffalo City? Your predecessors are busy doing busy trial on trial. Yeah, at the Magistrates Court in London, where I've been employed at. There's a 204 section, a section 204 witness at this moment hiding, because he's running away or hiding from his own comrades.
Okay, section 204, that's fine. Okay, there's another hand. I'll take one at the back and give one to one of the guys at the back. This side, and then we'll go over to the EF. Yeah, start there. Now just give to the gentleman in front of you. Just give to anyone. Segas.
Engosi to the panel. Umbuzo wami uzawuza apha kulo mbutho ungakhange uthethe ngaminye imibutho. lo uye wathetha ngezinto za umnyeke. Umbuzo wami uthi njengoba uzawungena ube yimeya kwezi zinto that have been raised and the inconsistencies, how are you going to be able to accommodate these people that gains cheap and uncalled for issues to you? How are you going to accommodate them when you come into power as a mayor? Ukubalungiselela nabo. Uzayenza kanjani
Enkosi,
lonto xa benze ngolu hlobo
All right.
benza ngalo?
Thank you very much. We'll take one last question from the Reds.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I would like to ask a question to our representative of the EFF, our regional chairperson, Manu Matiwan. But before I do that, I'd like to extend our condolences to the Deputy Mayor. We heard about the sad news that has befallen you. Now, Fighter Matiwan, we know that from the door-to-door campaigns that we have conducted here, our people have been forced and been criminalized to become izinyoka. Our people have been forced to do illegal things. And there are people who are indigent, who have not benefited anything from this government of corrupt thieves. The government of corrupt thieves, of people who are even prepared to steal funeral money. Now, the EFF is the only organization that is saying that the tender system must be abolished. Can you explain why the tender system needs to be abolished and what connection that has to job creation? Thank
you very much. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will allow for the panel to answer those 4 questions, and then I'll open for another round. The first 3 questions were addressed to you, Mr. Pagati. I think the first one dealt with the issue of the debt write-off, and there was a question about Section 204, and I think the third question related to how you'll accommodate those people who are giving you a hard time this time around.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ngalo. First, there is a policy here, indigent policy, that takes care of the unemployed and those who do not have income. And that those who are in that situation should consult their ward councillors, and that their ward councillors should bring their issues to the attention of the municipality. That's how the process works. Ward councillors would take that to the attention of the finance department of the municipality, which is the custodian of the police, of the indigent police. The second question is on Section 204, a person running away from own comrades. Well, I do not know what you are talking about. That has been brought to our attention. We do not know of anyone who's running away from anyone in the ANC. So if you have an information to that effect, you can approach the law enforcement agencies to help you. On the third question, on how I'm going to accommodate others, well, when I am a mayor of Buffalo City, I will be a mayor of all citizens of Buffalo City. not only of the ANC, but I will ensure that every citizen of Buffalo City have an equal opportunity, irrespective of the ideological outlook of that person. Because the Constitution of the Republic guarantees the rights of every citizen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last question is for you, Fighter Matiwane, as to how you to explain why the tender system should be abolished.
Ndibulele mhlali ngaphambili. Njengoba besikhe sakhankanya ngaphambili ukuba ingxaki ye-tendering system is that ityebisa abantu who are politically connected. Ayizisi tshintsho kuluntu ngokuphangaleleyo. So sithi EFF, we want to abolish those tenders and build stated capacity where we have to do away with the use of consultants. Apho consultants ziye ziqeshwe ke ngomasipala bethu ukwenza izinto ezincinci. That is, we want to do away with those consultants because they do not transfer skills to the employees of that municipality. Also, we want to do away with the catered deployment. People should be employed based on competence. Singathathi umuntu ono standard 3 sithi mayoba chief financial officer. Lo muntu uzokwenza umjobo apha kuba sibona uba sinengxaki esinayo apha kwamasipala. Also, when you are building the state capacity, year in, year out, Auditor General comes with findings. Apho iye ibhaqe amasela, kukho ke namasela omkhonto ke. Abantu abangenantloni. Uba bangade babe imali yomkhonto kaTata uMandela. We are saying funeka umisele izinto ze-monitoring and evaluation because i-recommendations ziba khona kodwa umasipala loo nto ayilandeleli. That is amasela eqhubekeka ngokuba imali aye ezityebisa.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be fair. I want to give an opportunity to the guys who are sitting upstairs. So what I will do, I will take, since most of the people are down here, I will take 2 questions from upstairs and then I'll take the last 2 from down here. But while the mic is on its way upstairs, I'll take a question from this gentleman over there right in front.
Good evening. My name's Kevin L. from the DA. I've got 2 questions. The one is to the ANC and the one is to the EFF.
Can you please keep it to contain it to 1 question so that we
All right.
accommodate everyone? Thank you.
Okay. To the ANC, evening, sir. The question I would like to know is, you as the mayoral candidate, how are you going to eradicate factionalization in the ANC?
Thank you very much. How will you deal with factionalism? Can we take, there's the lady in red with the duke over the head. Commanis.
Thank you very much.
No, that's fine.
Thank you very much. My one question is to the to ANC. Mr. Kola, can you explain to us, as you have indicated, that you are building houses in this city? Can you explain to us what type of houses and what type of infrastructure that you bring to those houses? And also, can you explain to us what is the program of ANC with regard to informal settlement upgrading, with regard to electrification?
Okay.
And also, what is being done by the institution
Okay, I think we'll
to bring
continue.
title deed
Please,
to the
let's
house
allow 1
owner?
question. I think we'll continue to the question around informal settlements development. But yeah, let's take a question from upstairs. I think the mic is on its way. But maybe while the mic is on its way, without wasting time. There it is over there. Can you just give it over to the gentleman over there?
Thank you very much. Chair, I will direct my questions.
Please continue. We will get a chance. Please settle down. You will get a chance. Please settle down. Shouting won't help us, gentlemen. Please settle down. You will get your chance. Please continue, Mr.
Thank you, Chair. Person, because slogans and sloganeerings, they do not necessarily generate any jobs. And as such, I'm wondering if I should really ask a question to the newcomers because they have no experience in governance. And I'm very worried that they won't be able to answer me if I ask the simple question of how part are they going to achieve what they think they are going to achieve. That is why, Chairperson, I am directing my question to the tried and tested movement that has always been the ear of the people of South Africa, the African National Congress. And that question is, given your experience in government over the last 20-something years, especially within the local government, how are you going to make sure that you expand on the already, on the work that has already been done? How are you going to improve, especially to ensure that young people, especially the confused ones who are now with the new parents that are ready, how are you going to make sure that they come back?
So basically your question is...
How are you going to make sure that they come back to the ANC by improving on the work you have done to provide them with the necessary skills and the necessary jobs so that they don't confuse, don't get confused.
Thank you very much. Now, we will take another question from the upper section. Do you have the mic? Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.
The mic is on. Continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. I've got one question, just one question to the ANC. My question is as follows. Xa kunokwenzeka ifluke abe umeya, kwenzeka just ifluke. Uzawukwazi na yena ukuyinqanda into ebidla ngokwenzeka in the past kwi-mayoral committee kufakwe abantu abatatazela abangakwazi ukwenza nto, and also okokugqibela le nto ye-cadre deployment uzawukwazi uyinqanda na, because usifa nje ubulaleka lo masipala yile cadre deployment ufakwa i-misfit zodwa.
Thank you very much, Fighter. All those 4 questions were directed at you, Mr. Phakathi. I can take you through them unless you've noted them. Have you noted them? You're good. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngalo, once more. The first question was from Mr. Nell, Kevin Nell of the DA. Kevin, there is no factionalism in the ANC. The ANC is a very big organization. It's a very big organization. And as such, difference of opinion would always arise because we're a big organization. And that is not factionalism. The ANC is a democratic organization whose decision-making process is subjected to a process that ensures everybody is taken on board. We are the only organization here that has a very thorough process of electing councillors. In other organizations, that does not happen. The commander sits in headquarters and decides who must be the councillor in Buffalo City. In other organizations. Now there is no factionalism in the movement. We are a big organization that difference of opinion would always arise. So the second question was on houses. As the African National Congress-led council here, we have done well in providing quality houses to our people. Not unless you are blind or you are not residing here. Well, if you are blind, I cannot help you. We have built new townships from scratch. We have provided roads infrastructure in those townships. We have provided electricity in those houses, running water, all the necessary infrastructure inherent to a house. We went to the extent of electrifying informal settlements, a project that we have not completed yet. We will continue with the task of electrifying informal settlements so that we deal with the illegal connections. We are in charge in this city. We are still going to be in charge after the election.
Now, I think the third question
Now,
was...
the third question is the issues of young people. Well, we have to find a way, working with the institutions of higher learning in the region. We have institutions of higher learning here. We have University of Fort Hare, we have Buffalo City, TVET College, we have roads. What we need to do is to work with those institutions to develop a set of processes that would ensure that young people are skilled. But also, the growth of the economy is such that it is not able to absorb the unemployed. And that innovation and entrepreneurship is required so that we can build together small and medium enterprises with who will be supported through the state procurement process to a point of self-sustainability. Now, on the fourth question, on mayoral committee or cadre deployment, deployment in the ANC is done on merit. Deployment in the ANC is done on merit. We have never deployed people who are not capable or who are not equal to the task. Cadre deployment has more to do with the knowledge of the policies of that particular organization at that particular point. And therefore, as and when we win elections, we will deploy our own.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Pagati.
As other parties will do.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pagati. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please settle down? We will take our last round of questions and then allow for the parties to make their closing remarks. I will take a question right there at the back, Wanga. I think there's one of the hands there at the back. Do I have mics? Microphones? Can I see the microphones? Where are they? I think there's a gentleman there in the black jacket right at the back, and then we can give it to the UDM gentleman. There's the second question, but you can start with the gentleman right behind him. Yeah.
Enkosi msasazi. Before ndibuze mhlekazi, xa kuzokwenzeka le into eyenzekayo apha eyenziwa nguwe nogxa bakho, ningaboyibizi i-UDM xa ningazoyibuzisa umbuzo niyicele. I-question yam iya straight phaya ku-Comrade Mpulu. Comrade Mpulu apha siyabona kulo mbutho usiqhatha yonke le mihla usithi working together we can do more xa kusiwa kwi-elections. But after elections they say vukuzenzele. Now sifuna ukubuza apha kuwe ni-UDM njengoba nisibekela kakuhle kangaka ukuba singabantu balapha kulo masipala nizosenzela ntoni uqala kwi-crime ne-unemployment. Enkosi.
Thank you very much. Can we cross the floor and ask right behind you guys, there's a hand there behind you. On the other side, right behind you. Okay, that's fine.
Manbulise kuwe mphathitheko. Owami umbuzo ubhekise apha kuxola phakathi lunesiwekile. Kukho i-investigation eyayenziwe i-Daily Dispatch last year eyathi abantu ababulelwe ngumbane bayi-29 for the past 3 years. Now into asoyenza bona abantu be-ANC is that bayele ba-disconnect. Into abanganoyenza ke kusebenzisa the same diagnosis ukuba basolve le problem. Into eyenzekayo ngoku esibasicampaigner zonke ezindawo athetha ngazo uthi yena babhizi baya-electrifya thina khange siyibone loo nto leyo. Into enganokwazi uyenza kuxoka because ii-numbers aziphosisi abantu bayi-29 babulelwe ngumbane yet urhulumente we-ANC akho nto ayenzileyo ngaloo nto, let alone i-counselling. Umntu omnyama impilo yakhe ijip. Now umbuzo ubhekise kuye uthi yintoni i-emergency preparedness plan anayo enokwenza into yokuba ngaba anqande ukuba ikhilizi ingaqhubeki. Enkosi.
Thank you very much. But before I continue, can I request Ukbasi Sonipane, you could have asked your question without throwing insults. Can we please respect each other, ladies and gentlemen? Over to the front. I think there's a hand in the third row, right? The hand on the third row. Thanks.
My question is for Councillor King of the DA. And the question is this. Of all the parties up there on the stage, only 2 have got real experience in government. Now, how does the track record of DA government compare to the track record of the other parties on the stage?
Thank you very much. Short and sweet. Let's cross the floor. I think there's a hand on the extreme. Can you just first to the gentleman? I apologize. We all want to ask questions. Sekas.
Nkosi umbuzo wami ulapha kuKomrade uXola yena muntu ongathethi uvengove. Ngasicacisele apha kule Metro Growth Development Strategy eyamkelwa ngumuntu wonke abe Buffalo City neziphathi zikhona in relation to township economy and rural development. Apho sakwazi ucacisela abantu kadlesa into unemployment nendlala. Kabarhabulise ngayo ke sihlalo.
Enkosi kakhulu, thank you very much. Now we'll allow for the panelists, for the panel to answer some of those questions. The first question, I think the first question referred to the ANC. It's directed at the ANC. Mr. Pagat. Okay, my apologies. I'm getting a bit confused. Things are getting heated in here. I think the first question was directed at Mr. Mpulu of the UDM as to what he will do differently from what the ANC has been running this council.
Inkosi kakhulu Chairperson. Chairperson mandiqale ngicacise lena into qala. You see there is a difference between 20 years experience. The experience yonyaka times by 20. Kana uphethe for 20 years, ayithethe une experience ye 20 years. Ithethe ukuthi londo unonyaka oyi1 kha uyamphinda phinda kayi 20 akuyazi lento uyenzayo. Now, coming to the question, the UTM is very clear that we must create social capital in our communities. And when you create social capital, you then activate what is called civil society participation. When you have civil society participation, you mitigate elements of crime because people now are preoccupied with activities. And secondly, you then must be able to create quotas for those who come in. You know, people talk about township economy. Building a mall in Umdantsane does not constitute a township economy. But township economy means that when you build a mall in Umdantsane, you must make sure that 60% of that mall is occupied by people in that area. And that will then make sense for that community. And that is what UTM is saying. You can't talk about something that you do not know. We are here to give direction and we are going to assist you to educate you on these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bodo. Mr. Pakati, there's a mic over here.
Well, the first question directed to me was from the EFF doctor who diagnosed me of diabetes. The question of illegal connections remain illegal connections, and we do not condone such. If there were no illegal connections in those areas, people would not have died. Those people died as a result of being electrocuted by the illegal connections. That is very unfortunate. And we are not proud about that. It is for that reason that we undertook a process of electrifying informal settlements. Because we realize that people cannot wait to be relocated in order to have access to electricity. That's the first point. The second question is our metro growth and development strategy, township economy. We have to ensure that the activities that are taking place in the townships are supported by the local municipality so that those businesses are able to sustain themselves to a point of being self-sustainable. That's what we want to do. Now, you look at the sectors there. Mr. Mbulu talked about the taxi industry, which is one of the sectors that we're looking at supporting so that they can benefit in the value chain of their industry. So we're looking at that. The retail sector in the township, we have to ensure that Abamama Taxi Highway, the hawkers at the taxi rank are assisted to grow to at least formal businesses. Thirdly, our metro is characterized by rural and urban divide. The rural and urban divide in our metro create an untenable situation where people leave their areas of residence and come to the city to look for employment. And when they don't get that employment, they erect shacks. That's what happens. Now, what the ANC seeks to do is to ensure that we create economic activity where people live so that you don't have influx of people from the villages to the city because they don't have anything to sustain their livelihoods. That's why our metro growth and development strategy talks to that. But also, we are looking at various areas, the renewable energy space. We want to ensure that many African people participate in that space. Secondly, the oceans economy. We want to ensure that we have 66 kilometers of coastline as the city, and that we should benefit out of Operation Pagesa. So we are engaging with the national departments insofar as that is concerned. Township tourism is one of the sectors that we are pushing through participation with the Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency. We are working with them dealing with matters of township tourism. We are going to improve logistics. We are going to ensure that our port is upgraded so that bigger vessels can be able to dock in order to address the question of exports and imports in our city. So those are the issues that we are looking into. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pagati. I think the last question goes to Councillor King. Do you have the mic?
Okay. The question is quite simple. Where the DA governs, we govern well, and we have moved Cape Town and Midvaal forward to be one of the best. Okay, let's look at unemployment for once. ANC. In the first quarter, we've created 4,000 jobs this year alone, which basically means Cape Town's unemployment is 21%. And where the ANC run Buffalo City, you are sitting at 45.8% unemployment, mostly youth. By the Auditor General, which you so nicely said, Deputy Mayor, has rated as one of the best when it comes to our finances. We have only 1 billion in irregular expenditure compared to all the ANC metros, which are at 19.3 billion rand, which basically means the ANC is scoring below 33% when it comes to clean audit. On a regular basis in council, we can see that the ANC so love the Western Cape that they on a regular basis use us as a benchmark, because all the ideas which was just highlighted here is basically benchmarks from what the ANC, what the DA is doing in the Western Cape. You go there, you see what we do, and you try to implement it. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for Buffalo City because you can't steal ideas. It is original from the DA. That's why we are the best when it comes to all the municipalities. 9 out of 10 municipalities which are the best comes from the Western Cape. In Johannesburg alone, the Midvaal municipality is the only municipality which have received better clean audit. Who runs that? The DA. Bavians, you envy Bavians. We perform exceptionally well in Bavians. Who runs that? The DA. At the end of the day, the ANC must just admit that the DA performs exceptionally well. That's why Cape Town is on the map as one of the best run cities in the world. Buffalo City will never come close to that unless they realize that the DA should run Buffalo City. Your roads are dirty in Buffalo City. You go to, okay, let's take the best example. Who received a wheelie bin in this house? Everyone, is there a truck to pick up your wheelie bin dirt? No, because the ANC thinks backwards. They stole the idea from the Western Cape, but we were forward thinking. We created the trucks, then the bins, not the bins and then the truck. I feel so sorry for you because your only way to move forward
Thank you
is
very
us.
much, Councillor King. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think all of you here and those who are listening at home will agree with me that this has been quite an helpful and insightful debate. And what I will do now, I'll allow for the parties to make their closing statements. I'll start on the far end, Mr. Mbulu. Now, on August 3, why should I go vote for the UDM?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, we are very careful. We are very careful about what we are going to say because we do suspect that Klasitata Uhulumende Apa, we might have inherited a bankrupt municipality. That's our suspicion. But I think we should go and vote for UDM because we want to bring a stable political leadership. You look around all parties, UDM shall give you that because we are a stable organization. And that's what we are saying we should go and vote for.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Kuse, the same question goes to you. Why should any of these people gathered here go and vote for the ACTP?
Thank you, Chairperson. The ACTP will bring clean government, will bring a very simple approach regarding, for instance, pothole. We will have a dedicated team that will work for 24 hours. We will deal with proper stormwater drains. We will make sure that the communities are involved, and we will also solve the problem of water leaks. We will do away with bucket toilet system. We will make sure that our communities are safe, and we will make sure that we root out corruption. ANC has used its majority to block the publication of Ernst & Young report. Ernst & Young report was commissioned in 2010. The people of Buffalo City deserve to know what happened. ANC have got a blatant disregard of ratepayers' money. You are shouting because you are corrupt.
Thank you very much. Councillor King.
The TA is simple. First of all, we say stop corruption now in its tracks. The TA is simple, stop corruption. And by that it means fit for purpose councillors, you need to put them in place. You need to look at our supply chain system. You need to look at the mayoral committee. If there are people that have integrity, we know the ANC don't have any integrity. That's why they're wearing Zuma's t-shirt. After you stop corruption, then you can create better services. Fixing potholes on time. Get a better internal system. Look at your HR processes. HR, I mean consequence management, because people steal and then they are promoted. So no consequences for that. Also, we say after investments come in, because everything will be sorted because the TA is going to run this municipality. Jobs will be created.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Pagati, okay, let me give it to you, Fighter Matuan. Let me give it to you. Okay. Let me follow that order, Mr. Pagati. Can you please close for us? Why these people that here should vote for the ANC?
Well, we, the African National Congress, call upon the people of Buffalo City Metro to vote for the African National Congress so that together with them we can continue the work that we've been doing for the past 20 years. We have no match. We have no match here insofar as the provision of basic services to our people. This city, there are no bucket toilets here. No bucket toilets. In Cape Town, black people are given portable toilets Black people in Cape Town are given portable toilets, and you benchmark this city with Cape Town. You must be joking.
You benchmark
You
us
must
every
be joking.
time.
In Cape Town, the municipality gives black people portable toilets. So we can't benchmark this city with Cape Town. So voting for the ANC means continuation of the work that we have done. Our track record as the African National Congress speaks for itself, not unless you are blind or you are not residing in this city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pakati. Lastly, from the EFF, why should anyone vote for the EFF? Thank you. Thank you, comrades. Thank you. Over to the EFF.
Sithi i-EFF yeyodwa eyobuyisela isidima somuntu omnyama ngokuba sithi sizozisa inkonzo ebantwini. Abantu baye balityalwa ngurhulumente ebephethe ngaphambili. Thina asizu-implementa izinto without consulting abantu. Abantu sizobanika ii-toilets. Abantu sizobanika amanzi nombane abantu abasokolayo. Abantu bakuthi zobakakhela izindlu ne-human settlements, that is i-communities ezi-safe, ezine-playgrounds, ezine-library, ezinezikolo. Sithi ivoti yakho xa uvotela i-EFF uzoba uphucula ubomi bakho njengomntu omnyama. Siyabulela.
Thank you. Enkosi kakhulu Mzwakuthi. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to everyone who made tonight possible. Good night.
PTA Sautata! Yeah!